Good morning friends, myself Amit, and let us begin the Hindu analysis for 25th of August 2020. So let us begin with our first topic of the day, which is the tax collection in Delhi. The tax collection in Delhi has been reduced by 57%. Okay, this tax collection in Delhi has been reduced by 57.2% as compared to last year in the period of this April to June. And this has been the condition for entire country. The revenues of state and central government has been falling due to this COVID and the post lockdown followed by this economic crisis. And also the expenditure has been reduced by government to overcome this problem, right? But for now we need more expenditure, more services from the government, more facilities to revive the economy. The expenditure of government could only help in reviving the economy. So let us see what this article is saying, and then I will explain you the other repercussions of this. Okay. So as per recent The Hindu analysis, they have found that the tax revenue collection has gone down by 57% than expected. Okay, for this annual budget 2021 expected. Okay, the estimated figures, it has been 57% less for this April to June period, and it is overall 44% less than for the overall estimated time year compared to last year. Okay, so let us see from where the state government or the Delhi government get its tax, right? So it has five main sources, like this VAT, which is still there on few elements like petrol, etc. Then GST, then excise tax is there, then stamps and registration, and motor vehicle tax. So these are the five major sources of revenue for Delhi government. Okay, the tax revenues, and there has been major shortfall in this GST and VAT, though others are also witnessing a decline. Okay, so this is these are some figures that 14,000 crore was the estimated amount to be received, but government has received only 6,000 crore. Not going into the data factual details, we see that this deficit has been increasing. Okay, but now the positive news is coming that after the lockdown, this revenue is also increasing month after month. Okay, as it was very less in April-May period, but it has been increasing over the months since this upliftment of lockdown or easing of lockdown, right? So what what are the other sources that Delhi government get revenues from is the compensation. A few class back I told you about that the central government compensating the GST losses to the state government. So similarly, the Delhi government also gets this compensation on loans from the central government. Okay. So overall figure is that from this GST compensation, these five sources, the Delhi government had to get this 18,000 crore rupees, but what they have received is 12,000 crores only this year, which is 32% less. That is reduced by 6,000 crore, the overall revenue, the total income. And the Delhi government has also reduced their expenditure by 3,000 crore, so that they are now suffering an effective loss of 3,000 crore. So what the repercussions could be, and how the government is trying to reform the system? The repercussions could be that the revival process that is going on with the help of government expenditure, like the ration PDS schemes, okay, the Delhi government subsidies to various fields, okay, like this transportation subsidy provided to female, the electricity subsidy provided by Delhi government, then water bill subsidy provided by Delhi government. Okay, then there will be this compensation provided to corona warriors, then salaries of Delhi government employees. So all these expenditure are there which government needs to meet. And recently we also had seen a news that the Delhi government is asking for the loan from the central or aid from the central government, okay, of 35,000 crore something. So what we see here that yes, Delhi government has been trying to solve the issue, and they have constituted a 12-member committee under this Jasmine Shah to explore the economic reform to help business recover from the impact of COVID-19. So we hope that this COVID-19 effect could could become mild sooner, so that the government could help us in revival, and we can join back the way we were living. Okay, but with lessons. Okay, with lessons from this COVID-19. Coming to this Pakistan's recent list of terrorists. Okay, so let me give you some background. Actually, recently Pakistan have released a list of terrorists in which, as per their obligation under UNSC, okay, UNSC and Interpol information, they have to declare an international list every year. Okay, but coming to the background, actually Pakistan, due to this terror funding allegations, etc., or you can say, yes, it is not allegation, but they are actually aiding the terror funding, and on various occasions this has been proved also. So the case is that Pakistan was grey listed by this FATF, Financial Action Task Force. Financial Action Task Force is an international organization which works on this money laundering, hawala transaction, and to curb this terror funding. The main objective is to curb this terror funding across the world. And this FATF, they list the countries under three: the normal list, then this grey list, and then this blacklist. So in blacklist, the countries do not get any kind of aids or loans. Okay, it is very difficult for them to get the loans or aids from external areas like the international bodies, external governments. It is very difficult for them, and that is at very high interest rate. In grey sector, it is kind of in between. Okay, moderately difficult at higher interest, rate, the loans which are given to countries, and also there are several sanctions or restrictions on the country, while in normal everything goes as usual. So Pakistan has been this grey listed. The last year Pakistan was grey listed by this Financial Action Task Force, and yes, some amount could be thanked to the efforts by Indian government, where we prove that the Pakistan's government has been involved in this case of terror funding and supporting the terrorist activities across the border, right? So what now, coming to the news now, the Pakistan recently has released this terrorist list. Okay, but whenever they take an action against terrorism, it is like one step forward and one step backward. So what they have done, actually they have recently recognized 85 around terrorists, including this Dawood Ibrahim, LET, this SRO listing. Okay, has included this Dawood Ibrahim, LET's Jakiur Rahman Lakhvi, and 85 others. Okay, and if they are to implement this UNSC committee resolution against them, in which several restrictions would be there on these listed terrorists. Their funding would be curbed, their access to other facilities or other services like curbing of their bank accounts. Okay, so such actions would be taken against them under this UNSC committee resolution. तो अब पूरी बात यहाँ पर ये है कि इन टेररिस्ट पर प्रतिबंध लगाए जाएंगे बहुत तरीकों के. बट व्हाट द पाकिस्तान गवर्नमेंट हैज़ डन, दे हैव ट्वीक्ड द लिस्ट. कुछ लिस्ट, इस लिस्ट में कुछ नाम डाले, कुछ उधर डाले, कुछ इधर डाले. सो व्हाट दे हैव डन कि पूरी लिस्ट जो है वो तैयार नहीं करते. As this list has been prepared on this UNSC and Interpol information, and they say that this Dawood Ibrahim does not live in Karachi, इसलिए इन्होंने डोमेस्टिक लिस्ट में दाऊद इब्राहिम का नाम नहीं डाला. यानी कि जो डोमेस्टिक सैंक्शंस हैं वो दाऊद इब्राहिम पर लागू नहीं होंगे. ओके, दो दे हैव दिस मेंशन दिस मसूद अजहर विच वाज हाफिज सईद एंड मसूद अजहर इनकी लिस्ट में है अंडर दिस नाक्ता लिस्ट ऑफ SRO, this National Counter Terrorism Authority, which is an anti-terrorism authority under this Pakistan. तो इनकी नाक्ता लिस्ट में ये नाम तो हैं, बट दाऊद इब्राहिम जैसे नाम नहीं है. यानी कि जो लोकल सैंक्शंस हैं वो दाऊद इब्राहिम पर लागू नहीं होंगे. दिस शोज दैट द पाकिस्तान इज ओनली ट्राइंग टू improve its international image by complying to this UNSC committee resolution. Okay, क्योंकि इनकी फॉरेन मिनिस्ट्री के स्टेटमेंट कुछ और जाते हैं, इनकी एसआरओ लिस्टिंग के स्टेटमेंट कुछ और जाते हैं. सो दिस शोज दैट दे ओनली वांट टू कम आउट ऑफ दिस FATF लिस्ट, ग्रे लिस्ट, to this back to normal list, because they are in dire need of finance, right? They have been taking loans from various countries. China has been their all-weather ally, UAE has been giving them loan, then Saudi Arabia has been giving them loan, they have been going to IMF multiple times. So they are been in dire need of cash, and when this FATF grey list is there, they have to pay higher interest on those international loans. So they are direly trying to come out of this grey list, और ये इमेज सुधार वाला काम ये कर रहे हैं. But this FATF plenary session is about to be held, जो कि डिसाइड करेगा, असेस करेगा that whether Pakistan has taken required steps or not. क्या पाकिस्तान merit based action ले रहा है to get reprieve from this grey list, या फिर इनको दोबारा से इंक्रीज मॉनिटरिंग लिस्ट में रखा जाए, या फिर और डाउनग्रेड कर दिया जाए टू द ब्लैक लिस्ट और हाई रिस्क ज्यूरिसडिक्शन बिकॉज ऑफ देयर एक्शन. ये एनालाइज किया जाएगा बाय दिस FATF कमिटी. ओके, सो दिस इज येट टू बी डन, एंड वी स्टिल कैन से दैट दे आर बीन डूइंग दिस पेपर वर्क ओनली. द पाकिस्तान हैज बीन डूइंग दिस पेपर वर्क ओनली. ओके, so the next topic, it is actually very important, friends, and this is about this need of Fiscal Council. So let me tell you what this Fiscal Council is first, then I will move ahead. And the Fiscal Council is actually a body, independent body, to check or to analyze or to investigate independently the government's compliance to its budgetary responsibilities. Okay, so a legal framework was there, this FRBM Act, right? This act came in 2003, and the motto of this act, that the government should comply with the responsibility and this budget management. Okay, they should manage their budget in a responsible manner so as to reduce the deficit and improve the way of expenditure. Okay, this is the crux, कि गवर्नमेंट जो अपने खर्चे कर रही है उन्हें बेहतर तरीके से करे और अपने रेवेन्यू और एक्सपेंडिचर का जो डिफरेंस है, डेफिसिट है, जिसे कि हम फिस्कल डेफिसिट कहते हैं, उसे अच्छे से मेंटेन करें. दिस बजट एक्चुअली प्रोवाइडेड, दिस FRBM एक्ट प्रोवाइडेड फॉर टारगेट ऑफ 0% दिस रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट. तो रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट क्या होता है कि जो आया और जो गया. ओके, द सिंपल, इन सिंपल टर्म्स, रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट है कि गवर्नमेंट के पास कितना रेवेन्यू आया एंड एक्सपेंडिचर मेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट. इनके बीच का जो डिफरेंस है कि अगर कम रेवेन्यू आया और गवर्नमेंट ने ज़्यादा खर्च कर दिया, देयर वाज लेस रेवेन्यू एंड गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडेड मोर, सो द डिफरेंस देयर वुड बी द डेफिसिट, एंड दिस इज कॉल्ड रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट. So the target was 0% of revenue deficit. Actually, when it was first made, the target year was 2012, and later it was shifted to 2020. And now the target, this budget FRBM target has been shifted to 2024 or 25. Okay. So, and the second thing was 3% of the fiscal deficit. सो दिस इज द ओवरऑल मॉनेटरी डेफिसिट. बोरोइंग और कैपिटल अकाउंट की चीज़ें भी इसमें इंक्लूड जाती हैं. गवर्नमेंट बाहर से जो लोन लेती है, so those external borrowing or local borrowing also, they add even other sources of budget revenues of government. So these kind of deficit, sorry, or not of budget revenues, it is only about the revenues in this case only, the budgetary revenues. तो यहाँ पर जो डेफिसिट होता है कि गवर्नमेंट का रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट प्लस डेफिसिट ऑन टर्म्स ऑफ बोरोइंग, वो हमारा फिस्कल डेफिसिट बनाता है. एंड दिस फिस्कल डेफिसिट एक्चुअली इज the government has been suffering on this fiscal deficit since the 1990s reform. And recently, अभी जो इस year, last year actually it was around expected that it would be around 3.8% for this fiscal year 2019, 20 and 21. So actually it was 23.4% was the target earlier for fiscal year 20 of this fiscal deficit. पर गवर्नमेंट ने कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स की वैल्यू घटा दी. it was reduced to 25% and even lesser in several cases. So हुआ क्या, that the revenues decreased. So the this window which was available वो पहले ही यूज कर ली गवर्नमेंट ने. So now the fiscal deficit target was increased to 3.8% before the start of this pandemic. अब after this pandemic, the lockdown, the economic crisis, now we are having kind of 7% target कि fiscal deficit GDP का 7% होगा. And this is actually high. This is very large. And even the debt target is now that we assume that there would be 85% this debt. Okay. So ये क्या शो कर रहा है? This is showing that the government is not able to manage its responsibility of the budget. Okay. इसलिए हमें एक इंडिपेंडेंट बॉडी की जरूरत है जो कि बनाई जाए. Although it can be created by Ministry of Finance. Okay, I will come to this Fiscal Council independent thing, but let me come to this Fiscal Council first. तो एक इंडिपेंडेंट बॉडी बनाई जाए जो गवर्नमेंट की इस तरह की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज का एनुअल एनालिसिस और इन्वेस्टिगेशन प्रोवाइड करे और उसकी एक रिपोर्ट फाइल कर गवर्नमेंट की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज को शो करे, सो दैट गवर्नमेंट कैन कंप्लाई विद दिस FRBM एक्ट. ओके, so what are the things here? Actually the CAG, why this need has been there of this Fiscal Council. So need has been mentioned here in this two paragraphs, and this need has been created from this CAG report, a CAG report of 2018 showing the budgetary data for 2016 and 17. This CAG report is showing us that the government has been lacking on its targets. There has been lack of transparency and accountability in responsibility of budget management. Okay, and this year we are expected that 7% would be the GDP would be the fiscal deficit, and 12% would be the overall deficit when we compare the deficit of center plus state or union plus state government. So now from this data we can see that the government has been tweaking the things, they have been manipulating the things to show lesser fiscal deficit. और इसके लिए क्या किया है गवर्नमेंट ने इधर उधर से फंड जुटाकर अपने रेवेन्यूज को बढ़ा हुआ दिखा दिया है. ओके, एंड हाउ दे हैव डन दिस? दे हैव डन दिस बाय मेकिंग स्पेशल बैंकिंग अरेंजमेंट फॉर कवरिंग द फर्टिलाइजर सब्सिडी. कि फर्टिलाइजर सब्सिडी मतलब डेफिसिट ना शो करे, इसलिए उसको बैंकिंग अरेंजमेंट से कवर अप कर दिया. Okay, then they have increased their loans from this MSSF. So now actually they have to pay the subsidy. पर कहीं सब्सिडी जैसे फर्टिलाइजर सब्सिडी में बैंक्स का मैनिपुलेशन कर दिया है ताकि ये वहाँ से दिखाई दे. फूड सब्सिडी में गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया है? दिस फूड सब्सिडी दे हैव डन व्हाट? दे हैव टुक दिस NSSF, नेशनल स्मॉल सेविंग फंड बोरोइंग, और उसे प्रोवाइड करा दिया है फूड कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया को टू प्रोवाइड फॉर द फूड सब्सिडी. Then for irrigation subsidies, what government has done? Government has took this long-term irrigation fund loans for the providing this irrigation facilities. ये loan नाबार्ड ने create किया था. Then for the railway project, a company of the government, this IRFC, Indian Railway Finance Corporation, the railway project has been loaned on this company. तो गवर्नमेंट अपने रेवेन्यूज से खर्च नहीं कर रही है. गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट स्पेंडिंग फ्रॉम इट रेवेन्यूज ऑन दीज प्रोजेक्ट्स ऑफ इरिगेशन, फूड सब्सिडी, फर्टिलाइजर सब्सिडी. It has been spending on loans from various government companies or been manipulating on other things, and still there is revenue or deficit. तो इसका मतलब क्या है? Deficit is quite high, but the government is manipulating the data. And this is from the CAG report, right? This is from the CAG report of 2018. And there has been other ways also that the government has been asking the LIC to invest in IDBI bank. तो LIC ने IDBI के शेयर्स खरीद लिए. अब IDBI को जो पैसा मिला वो गवर्नमेंट ने ले लिया एज द डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट प्रोसीड. सिमिलर इज द केस ऑफ PFC, पावर फाइनेंस कॉर्पोरेशन ने रूरल इलेक्ट्रिक कॉर्पोरेशन खरीद लिया और REC से पैसे ले लिए गवर्नमेंट ने टू शो द डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट प्रोसीड्स. तो यहाँ से रेवेन्यू तो बढ़ गया, बट ओवरऑल तो वो गवर्नमेंट का पैसा ही घूम के आ गया. So this shows that the fiscal deficit of government has been manipulated, and there has been this lack of transparency and accountability. To overcome this, 13th Finance Commission has provided a recommendation that a kind of committee should be created under finance ministry to investigate independently this whole scenario, the budget management by the government. And in time, this committee could be converted to Fiscal Council, completely established body. Okay, but इसमें problem क्या थी? The problem with this recommendation that the committee was to be created by finance ministry and was to report the finance ministry. So kind of conflict of interest could be there. So the 14th Finance Commission has recommended an overall new idea that an independent body should be created by the Parliament called Fiscal Council, and this Fiscal Council is to report the Parliament itself. And this independence of this is very much necessary. Okay, अगर independent होगा तो क्या फायदा होगा? Independent होगा तो unbiased report to Parliament जाएगी. So level of debate in Parliament would improve the level of efficient expenditure. Okay, then second क्या होगा? The programs can help to promote transparency over the political cycle, to discourage this populist funding or populist expenditure. जो लोग इलेक्शन के टाइम पर लोगों को खुश करने के लिए those populist schemes are there, they could be reduced, they could be kind of non-biased. Okay, fair manner में उन्हें implement किया जा सकेगा. Third, there should be this cost of program and assessment of forecast could help in raising public awareness, कि लोगों को पता चलेगा कि गवर्नमेंट कैसे खर्च कर रही है, what amount on what business has been spent by the government. Okay, and overall the final thing is that it will work as the conscience keeper of monitoring rule based policies in raising awareness and level of debate both within and outside the parliament. तो इससे क्या होगा? Efficiency बढ़ेगी गवर्नमेंट की in the management of budget. So yes, it has been a large article, but it is very much important for you to understand कि fiscal council क्या है, क्यों ज़रूरत है, गवर्नमेंट अपने फाइनेंशियल टर्म्स में कहाँ खड़ी है, एंड व्हाट एन अवेयर सिटीजन कैन आस्क फॉर फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट. ओके, सॉरी फॉर सच अ लार्ज very long topic, but it is very important. Okay, now coming to the next topic, which is the DNA profiling bill. I will cover it in very short. This DNA profiling bill has been a part of this DNA Act 2019, which has been in work for 15 years now and still to be enacted. Okay, and this DNA profiling bill actually provides for the sampling and profiling of citizen data to be profiled in a database and stored for the administrative purposes. Okay, authorities के पास एक DNA bank kind of बनेगा, and this data would be stored in this DNA bank to be used for administrative purposes. The main argument for creation of all this is to identify the repeated offenders, easy to identify the culprit. Okay, it would help us in better investigation. Okay, the standard of investigation would improve. It would better enable us to get the culprit. Okay, so this recently what happened, a parliamentary standing committee was analyzing the bill, and what they have found, they have come up with several flaws in the bill. This committee was headed by Congress Jairam Ramesh leader. Okay, so yes, there could be a political bias, but the opposition is having a duty to show the flaws of the government, and they are doing this duty. The government should pay heed to the flaws raised by this parliamentary standing committee. And what are those flaws? Actually, this bill, such legislations have been there across 60 countries in the world, and the USA made this law as far as in 1994. Okay, so yes, we need such a bill. It's a good policy, but what are the flaws in the bill? So actually we do not have a proper data protection regime. तो किसी इंडिविजुअल का जेनेटिक डाटा स्टोर करना मतलब क्या है? It provides us with the information, sensitive information of an individual about his pedigree, skin color, behavior, illness, health status, and susceptibility to disease. And there is a large this issue of misuse of this data. The parliamentary standing committee was of the view that such data could be used to to link several caste or communities with the criminal activities. उनकी प्रोफाइलिंग उनके क्रिमिनल एक्टिविटीज से लिंक कर दी जाएगी. As actually we now see that this some NCRB data shows that these minorities and scheduled castes and tribes, they account for around 67% under trials. So actually the problem is that they have been quite poor. They have been lesser facilities. So this pushes them to crime. Rather, if we flag such, if we create a link between the community and crime, this would be dangerous for the society. Okay, this would go against the fair system. Okay, the right to freedom, equality. Okay, so what other things in the bill, what other flaws in the bill are that data would be collected from the site of crime, and even if the culprit who is been there in the court is acquitted, even if the person who is been involved in the case is acquitted by the court, the bill says that his data could be stored for infinite duration. ये गलत है कि कोई acquitted है, निर्दोष है, उसके बावजूद उसका डाटा रखे रहोगे आप. So this is against the system, but the law provides for this. So this has been the flaw of the law. Okay, then this is against the right to privacy. Okay, so किसी की privacy, I told you that this much amount of data has been collected by the individual and which could be dangerous to it can be misused by authorities against an individual. किसी के डिस्क्रिशन पर, कोई हाई अथॉरिटी है, उसके डिस्क्रिशन पर अगर से किसी इंडिविजुअल से दुश्मनी निकालनी है, तो ही कैन मिस यूज द डाटा. Okay, even a politician could be misused against its opposition, against the civil society. Okay, so there is need to be a proper legal protection framework in India so that this data should not be misused. Okay, then also this bill is showing this punishment has been provided to 7 years. Okay, and the data collection is based on the consent of individual, but the flaw is, but this consent could be overridden by a magistrate, simply by a magistrate. तो यहाँ पर flaw आ गया, and this is perfunctory. Often ऐसा ही होगा, this is a fatal flaw, because often we will find that the consent has been overridden. So these flaws of this data protection law has to be changed. Okay, the bill should go in a proper letter and spirit so that it could be implemented for the betterment of society rather than data collection only. Okay, so the purpose could only be served if there is an independent investigating agency which can check whether the data which should be removed has been removed or not, whether those not required biological samples have been destroyed or not. Then also there should be a proper legal framework like this data protection law recommended by this Sri Krishna committee. Okay, should be provided so as to support the rights of individuals in country. Okay, coming to the next topic, which is about the Guwahati is having now its longest India's river ropeway. So the category is that it is river ropeway has been created on this Brahmaputra river, connecting this deputy commissioner's office in with this Dhruval Govinda temple in Assam, right? And it also been passing from this Peacock Island, having this Umanda Shiva temple. So a bit of controversy was there. This bridge was to be completed by 2011 by this Guwahati Administration Committee, but the Archaeological Survey of India, they came in between and asked that the pillar which is to be created on this Peacock Island would hit the archaeological or you can say heritage, could create problem for this heritage, cultural heritage of this island. Okay, just wanted to show this island. It is not here actually. Okay, so this GMDA, what they did, they got restart permission in 2015 with some changes in this pillar orientation so that heritage island could be preserved. Okay, and then now we have this longest river ropeway. Actually the longest land ropeway is situated in Gulmarg, Kashmir. Okay, Gulmarg, Kashmir, while the longest ropeway on the river is now this one in Guwahati. Okay, moving towards our next topic, which is this German doctors. Actually, you might have listened about Alexei Navalny. He was opposing Mr. Putin in Russia, and he, while on a flight, he was going to take a campaign on Siberia. Campaign in Siberia. He was given poison. Okay, after drinking the tea, he collapsed. So when he was taken to a hospital in Siberia, where the Siberian hospital claimed that there has been no traces of poison in his body, but recently actually German doctors have claimed that there has been fairly likely that Mr. Navalny has been given poison, or he was poisoned with this tea. Okay, we all know that Russia has been a history of doing so. And even not only Russia, many other countries have done so, like CIA, KGB, Mossad. These agencies have been working and doing this so for years now. And Russia actually poisoned this. We have seen in movies how they accomplish these tasks. Okay, so Alexei Navalny, who is this in Berlin hospital, he collapsed in Russia last week and was poisoned. Actually, he was a critic of Mr. Vladimir Putin, and he died recently. So we can say one more critic has been silenced by Mr. Putin. Then actually this is the last topic we are going to discuss, and is about this Taliban delegation to Pakistan. So this is important because India has been unofficially now engaging with Taliban. And this Afghanistan peace process has very much concerns for India also. So India has been making every effort so that this peaceful deal in Afghanistan creates a stability in the region and serves our interest as well. Okay, but this role of Pakistan, this meeting of Taliban and Pakistan shows that the role of China and Pakistan axis with this Taliban is increasing. And this could hamper India's interest in Afghanistan as well as our links to Central Asia via Afghanistan. So India needs to be wary of this, as Mr. Baradar, Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, has been on his official visit to Islamabad on invitation from this Pakistan's foreign office, right? And they have been discussing on how to be the way forward on Pakistan peace process. There has been problems. अभी क्या हुआ था, this Taliban asked Afghanistan government to release around 5,000 prisoners, and those prisoners were having this terrorist history. अब ऐसे prisoners को छोड़ने के लिए कुछ हद तक अफगान गवर्नमेंट तैयार हो गई, but there has been problem. Though Afghan government has asked कि ये लोग दोबारा ऐसा नहीं करेंगे जिन्हें वो छोड़ने जा रहे हैं. They have taken a kind of note, okay, a promise from the Taliban, but you cannot trust a terrorist organization. Okay, so and even the European Union has said that these prisoners should not be released, क्योंकि 5,000 terrorists छोड़ना बहुत बड़ी बात हो जाएगी. But still, for the peace deal, what is going on. So this involvement of Pakistan and increasing involvement of Pakistan could create setbacks not only for the peace process in Afghanistan, but also for our interests in the region. Okay, so we need to be wary of this. We need to create better engagement. We need to, if needed, we also need to engage with Taliban so that these links with Pakistan could be in links को तोड़ा जा सके. Because China has been also involved. China is also supporting this engagement. So we need to create better inroads to Taliban if needed. Okay, in my opinion, we need to create better inroads if needed, because now it seems inevitable कि peace process में दोनों की ज़रूरत है, both Taliban and Afghanistan. So we need to make inroads there. Then China launches a warship for Pakistan Navy. So ये हमारे लिए एक security threat हो सकता है, because China has been providing this Type 044 class frigate to Pakistan, and this has been a kind of advanced technology with latest surface, subsurface, anti-air weapons, combat management system and sensors. और China ने promise किया है that they would give such 4 frigates to Pakistan Navy. So we need to be wary of this, that this engagement of China as Pakistan is going far, and we need we can do that we need to establish our capabilities we, as recently Mr. Rajnath Singh, our defense minister, said that Navy need to develop its own weapons. Kind of domestic manufacturing should be boosted, should be improved by the Navy itself. So thank you for the day. Have a nice day, friends. I think I added to your information today, and I hope for better future of yours. Okay, thank you.